It's Victoria from Cook for Two-ish. I'm really excited about this one. This is my meal prep. My take on it's a little bit different than most. I know people kind of do things and they do it for the whole week. I actually try to buy ingredients that I'm going to use all week and then I make it each night before lunch. So my mornings I'm usually doing a shake, which was my last video. And I also, at night, kind of depending, I'll do some of I have a quesadilla on my site that I usually do, or I'll do eggs at night. Usually for lunch, I try to do something a little bit kind of thick. This has a lot of protein in it. So first off, it has a cup of my shredded chicken, which was one of my first posts that I did back in the day. This one was about 3 chicken breasts on the bone. I buy from Trader Joe's. I do organic chicken, definitely cage-free. It actually, when you're done making it in the crock pot, you can totally check out that recipe. I'll have a link on it on this blog post. It has the leftover broth, so what I do is actually take off the layer of fat after it's been refrigerated, and then I put a couple scoops of that in here, and it makes your chicken so delicious, so moist, and it lasts for the whole week. It kind of keeps refreshing it, so if you feel like it's getting a little dry, that's all you need to do. Other things in this, it's basically kind of like a lettuceless salad meal prep, if that makes any sense. So I do about a 1/4 cup of raisins. You can also, if you're not a big raisin person, you can totally go for, I think I use cranberries. I did a similar kind of salad thing a long time ago. So we're gonna do raisins in this one. Also have edamame, which I can hardly ever pronounce. You can buy it, same thing at Trader Joe's. It's got a shelf life of about 5 days. I use it up every time, but if you feel like you get a little sick of it just having it in your meal preps, you can also use this as like an appetizer if you have people coming over, get a little wasabi and soy sauce and boom. Just so you're not wasting food, I try not to waste food. Avocado goes into it, obviously a good fat, good for you. Everything in here should be good for you. Just don't use a ton of the cheese, but the thing that I do with my avocados, because I was noticing that I was basically losing my shelf life on them, I will put it in the bag, usually put a little bit of lemon juice on it, and when you're ready with the second half, don't take this out. Just put it in the bag like that. When you're ready, pop the seed out, and then you just take your knife, run it over, and take the thin little layer off of it, and then you have the other slice of your avocado for the next day or two. So, because I try to eat about at least a half of an avocado a day, if I can. It's just really, really good for you, really good to have in your diet. I did have one of my followers tell me, just because I posted an article and he loves eggs and he's increased his egg intake because of my blog, and I was like, yes! Eat a lot of eggs in your diet every day. I try to soft boil mine. I'm not sure if this one's totally soft boiled yet. We'll give it a shot. When you are making it, just a point to know going into it, because I screwed this up, if you're gonna take it, make it the night before, take it to work, just put it in there and then cut it when you get to work for your lunch, and it's not that big of a deal. Same thing with your avocado. This dressing has a little lemon in it, which will help that, hold together, not totally turn brown on you. But you can totally just cut this when you get to work. And the other thing too is just take the shell off, because the last thing that you want to do is be that person in the room and that you are taking your shell off your egg and everyone's like, what's that smell? Because it's gonna smell like eggs, and you don't need to be embarrassed like that. One guy at our work made fish and put it in the microwave, and it literally went down the hallway, and I was in there eating Chipotle, and everyone was like, who made fish? And everyone was looking at me, and I'm like, ugh. So don't do that to your coworkers. But anyways, this one's actually looks pretty good. So you can chop it however you want, chunky, little, whatever. We'll just kind of go big on this one. Throw it in there. And this is gonna just fill you up. You're gonna love it. So I personally, the reason that I got away from doing a lot of salads at work is because lettuce takes a lot longer to digest in our systems. And basically for me, I don't like, it kind of just makes me feel like a little bit bloated just because it takes so long. So this actually is getting everything that you get in a salad without getting the lettuce part. And I noticed, I went to my favorite salad spot and I got a salad and I paid $10 for it. And I used to love this place, and ever since I've been kind of sticking to my own meals, I was like, wait a minute, I paid $10 for the salad and pretty much I got a bunch of lettuce. And I'm a person that I love a lot of stuff in my salad. I don't like a lot of lettuce. So I turn it into basically a meal prep is the way I'm going with it. Mushrooms are basically low in calories, a great filler. If you're not a big mushroom person, you can always substitute it. Another thing that could be kind of good in this, if you wanted to do some baby carrots or something like that, good for the eyes. But I'm not super, basically when I make my meals, this is what I like to eat. You can always sub out things. Don't think that this is just the way it is. And it makes a big chunk. I mean, you could actually, for some people, you can get 2 meals out of it. So if you have the cup of edamame, you can never say that, just roll with it. And that will hold up. It's the same kind of thing. It's just a good filler thing. Got your sliced almonds. I do the one that's not salted. They're just plain. I want to control the salt. And then as far as your avocado, I run my knife through it. I don't know if I'm doing the right angle here. And then I go back this way. Just be real light, because you don't want to obviously like cut through your hand and then write a really fun comment on my on my YouTube channel. I was in the hospital because of your meal prep. I just squish it in. You can be all fancy and get a spoon however you want to do it. That's in there, call it a day. And then the last thing, my favorite thing, a little bit of pepper jack cheese. I basically do just a couple little slivers of it. Not a ton, but we'll go a little bit thick on it today. And then I run my knife through it and then just make little chunks. So in that way, like, it has a little bit of like, I think that's like a Cobb salad or one of those that they do the chunky cheese like that. That's just personally what I like. So it starts to kind of look like this. And I know that sounds crazy, but this is going to fill you up. It is so incredibly good for you. Getting antioxidants, you're getting fiber, you're getting protein, lots of good proteins, you're getting healthy fat in there. And then for the dressing, I had a little epiphany today because I realized I eat a lot of Chipotle, and when I'm not doing these, that's kind of my other form of my meal prep, so as I like to call it. And actually, when I make my bowls, they'll use one of these and they'll scoop up some cilantro, because I'll be like, can you put a little extra cilantro on there for me? And I was making this today, and I stole this for this recipe and to show you guys, like, you can put your dressing in here. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I could actually just go to Chipotle, and if I want to cheat and not cut up my own cilantro and just be like, can I have a little extra cilantro? And boom, you got the base to your dressing. So, little cilantro. If you're not a cilantro fan, I mean, you could try parsley on it too. It might be a little bit different. I'm not a big parsley fan, but you could always try. And I'm not gonna do a ton of juice. I don't want it to be like too acidic. This is an awesome lime, by the way. So a little lime, and then same thing with the lemon. Brighten it up, give it some flavor. These are also good for you. I mean, I know myself, when I take waters to work, I'll put like some sort of fruit in it, and everyone thinks like I'm trying to be fancy. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be healthy. So, same kind of thing, a little bit of lemon, not too much. And then salt. This is where I control the salt at the end. The reason in making my own dressing, I want to control that, and I don't want a lot of sodium if this is going to be a meal prep. Basically, this is, to me, the best way that I can control it. I like fresh ground black pepper, and I like a lot of it, so you do as much or as little as you want. You don't have to be like, she did that much. It's really peppery and I don't like it. Control it how you want. And then olive oil. And again, it's not gonna be like a ton for this particular meal prep. And I know it sounds crazy. It's basically a salad or a lettuceless salad, but it works. And it's kind of creative. And I think that's the biggest and most important part of trying to get healthy and stay healthy, is we have to be creative. You can't just eat the same things every day, and this is something that you could just play with the ingredients. I have probably about 4 to 5 more that I want to play with, so I'm totally gonna keep changing it up. Do some garbanzo bean mixes and quinoa and all this different stuff, so stay tuned for it because it's gonna be fun. So this one, like I said, kind of has a little bit of a different flair, and I like it, and it works, and it fills you up, and it's cheaper than going and spending $10 on lunch every day. And you can totally eat this for dinner at night too, but it's awesome. You're gonna love it. And it's part of my lifestyle. Hope you love it. Anyways, have a good one and check me out. Leave me some comments, give me some feedback, and tell me what you think. Cook for Two-ish.